Okay, folks. In my last video, there was a gentleman who is autistic who was asking some questions, and I was trying to show it. And I probably spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out how to open it up. We're in Google Photos. Yes, I got rid of the Apple photo thing on my Apple iPad, and I replaced it with Google Photos. That way I would have access to things that I needed. Now, out of everything on here, there's this little teeny tiny thing up here in the corner, right there. Boop, we'll hit it. Blam! Now we found us some useful stuff. Let's see, which shared album should we go to? Is this it? This was beautiful. Although this isn't what I was planning on showing you. Nice! However, that's not the one we are looking for. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Why do homeless people steal from the homeless? These are mostly memes here, so we'll have to see. Here's one from Amanda Payne in 2012. I love you, and you need to call me about coming to visit. I miss you, Super Schwartzy 5000. I was taking screenshots of stuff so that if I wasn't able to use the internet to show it to police, I could at least show it on here. Amanda later became one of my predators. That's when we stopped being friends. As soon as people start being predatory towards me, I ditch them. I'm done with them. If you have an emergency later on in life and you want to get a hold of me, I'll probably help you. Chances are pretty good that if you have an emergency, even after stabbing me in the back, like Desiree did, or like Natalie did, or like Alicia did, if you end up missing or in a fucked up situation, I'm still going to come rescue you. After everything that Natalie had put me through and Alicia had put me through for a whole year before Natalie was killed, when Natalie disappeared, I still tried to help find her and get her somewhere safe. I offered every penny that I had to try to get her safe. Alicia Bollinger has disappeared three times since her sister was killed. And despite all the shit that Alicia did to me, still tried to help find her every time she disappeared. Let's see. That sucks. What happened to all the shared stuff? Jesus, that's a lot. One of these is the video where Chris Stegman admits to having sex with Jamie Curtis when she was 14. Now, if I can find that, Chris Stegman will probably end up in prison. This one, it maybe. Oh yeah, it's because these are archived. It has to.
You know what I'm saying? This is gross. It's disgusting to me. So I don't really know about that. You know what I'm saying?
They've been messing with people's pineal glands too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I feel like, yeah, they're nasty. It's just like doctors and nurses, and they're all people in high places, and I don't like it. You know?
Yeah. I've been. This is a lady who had her kid taken. Dealing with individual cases that are pretty screwed, but I'm also dealing with a lot of people who are like Illuminati head knocker types. You know, the people who think that everything is the Illuminati coming after us like that. Don't get me wrong.
That's what my daughter said. I don't know. But yeah, they raised me, I guess. You know, they when I was trying to research it.
This Illuminati stuff, it's nuts. Gang stalking. A lot of y'all, where you stop paying attention to gang stalking is when people say, oh, well, they hit me in the head with a brain ray that they got from the purple aliens. No, dude, that's not what the fuck gang stalking is. Gang stalking is also called group bullying. That's where groups of people bully someone to the point of insanity or to make them appear insane. And that's what I've been dealing with. However, I'm just trying to find the right album to show you. Let's see. This one maybe? Nope, that's videos from Jamie's. This one maybe? Nope. That one we've already looked at. This one maybe. I think this is it. This is from January 15th, 2017. This is just a few days after I got out of Sydney Hospital. It says, people try to love me, but they are not able to understand. I don't feel loved. I just feel bad for them. I love them, but I just don't feel people. I don't think it's right to them or me. My head is fucked. It was fucked well before Virginia. In Virginia, I trusted. I should not have. It's not easy to kill myself or I wouldn't be here. It's not that death is happy. It's that panic attacks fucking suck. That's why we should have assisted suicide. Now, if you notice at the very top there, it says I shared it on November 5th, 2018, but that's on January 15th of 2017 that the original post is. I'm not sure if you guys can read it. All right. A homeless man who is a customer at Starbucks at least 3 days a week was escorted out by police today. He fell asleep and wouldn't wake up, which has happened to me before. So I'm fine with it. However, this man cleans up his mess and he always puts the cup on the condiment bar next to the trash. The officer who showed up has been pointed out to me as being a physical abuser of the homeless on two separate instances. One involving a homeless woman last week, where 3 officers assaulted a woman on Pearl Street, and another involving a homeless customer at Shell who was body checked and hauled off for attempted assault. That's right. This is a pretty common procedure. Assault a homeless person, charge them with assault, They won't have money for a civil lawyer, and your sergeant's not going to investigate them. And you know it. You know that your sergeant isn't going to investigate you for beating on a homeless person. It's free money. As I was not there for either instance, I cannot say he is guilty or not guilty. Today, when the homeless man woke up, they said he had to leave, so he started picking up his mess, including the ceramic cup. The officer took the cup from him and tried to aggressively, verbally engage the man, trying to insinuate he was trying to steal it. Homeless folks aren't allowed to sleep. It's illegal everywhere. So most of us are working on less than 3 hours of sleep a day. So it's understandable as well that after this actually doesn't have to do with the Natalie situation, so we'll work on that. Here's one from September 13th of 2017. I met Jamie when I was 15. She was 9. I worked for her grandma. She was never mean to me. I added her out when I was 28. I actually asked her out when I was 28. She said yes. From that point on, she fucked with my head and my heart with no remorse, pretending I was worth a chance, just enough to keep me around, shitting on me, not cheating. We never had sex. Shitting on me just enough that I felt like shit all the time. If she could go back in time and say no, or I could go back in time and treat her like a whore while she was drunk, things would be different. That's the thing, is that you got no idea how many dudes she had sex with because she was drunk, and I refused. If I'm not good enough for you when you're sober, you can't have me when you're drunk. But let's get back to this. Let's see. Or I could go back in time and treat her like a whore while she was drunk. Things would be different. If Natalie had a picnic with me on my birthday, or I had taken the goddamned Vicodin instead of believing her, things would be different. Those of you who have followed this story, you know that Natalie came into my life when she was 18 years age, right before I was going to go take 37 Vicodin to kill myself over the harassment by the Boulder Police Department. That was 2016. Anyway, things would be different. I can't change the past, and I can't pretend it never happened. I can't just unlearn the experiences I lived, and you won't shut the fuck up with your pretty goddamn memes. I was sick and tired of being assaulted and having people tell me pretty words. You just need to love yourself. Ah! I can't change the past. I can't pretend it never happened. I can't just unlearn the experiences I lived, and you won't shut the fuck up with your pretty goddamn memes. I told some people I would see them before I kill myself, but I don't have time. I gotta catch a flight to hell. I did actually go to see Jamie and the boy. I told Jamie I'd go see her before I killed her in 2017. How screwed up is that? See? September 13th, 2017, at 5 a.m. That was how crazy Natalie and Alicia and Maddie Boa. Let's see. This one's from June 8th, 2015. Nicole Cisneros passed away. She had a seizure and became brain dead. Her family pulled the plug on her life support last week. There is a rumor about her being beaten to death by John. Who's John? John Fox. He's married now. Anyway, it says there was a fight that resulted in him going to jail almost a month ago. Nicole was assaulted again a few days later by someone else. And this, along with the added stresses of the lives we live and the dependencies many face, resulted in her having a seizure. We have lost so many. Who is Nicole Cisneros, and what were the dependencies? She was an alcoholic, and she died of a seizure. You know who else died of a seizure from alcoholism? Brian Ingersoll. You know who else died of a seizure? Anna Hunka, although that might have been a murder. Let's see. Here's from December 14th, 2013 at 3:11 a.m. I was ready to sleep at 8 p.m., but life happened. In order to keep a drunk from killing anyone while driving home, I got a car hood slammed on my arm, got elbowed twice, punched at least 5 times, took a couple of knees, and took a badass Spartan kick to the chest. Never mind that I caught it, it was still a wicked kick. Also, a couple chokeholds. It's okay though, his parents came to pick him up. He is safe at home, and all I got was a separated rib and a little hurt on my pride. People ask how I stay so calm, but in my head, it's not calm. It's hell. Hell I don't want anyone to get a hold of. I threw no punches, no kicks, and even found his wallet for him. I may not think what is right, but I do right by my actions. I'm just glad the guy 3 times his size that he was trying to fight didn't lay him out, although it would have saved us a few hours drama. I can take hell of physical punishment, but it's the emotional stuff, like losing people to drunk driving, that makes my mangina bleed. Be safe. I can take the physical punishment, it's the emotional shit. The problem is, the emotional shit doesn't matter to the fucking cops. They only care about the assaults. They only care about the physical shit. Now, there's a lot more in here, but I'm looking for here's one. You know what's worse than a rapist? Predatory women. That one's pretty long. Let's see. And that's from March 26th. Oh, yes, that's why this one's important. I do need to read this. All right. Now, here's one that's important for you. I shared one of Natalie's posts right here. I want you to read that. Now, of course, I had to look that up after she was dead, but it says the man who was never supposed to has continuously broken my heart. I always tell myself, never again. Hmm. Um, but I expect it to be different each time, hoping he'll change. And I don't believe he ever will. How do you tell someone you love dearly to leave you alone? I can't. Who was that man? That's her dad, duh. All right. This one says, you know what's worse than a rapist? Predatory women. They grab up decent men, revel in the attention, then pop every heart like a balloon. A rapist will force his will. It's easy to tell in the act that he's not a good person. However, a predatory woman doesn't force you. Instead, she coerces you with the belief that you are worth something. She tells you the other guys are bad, mean, and evil, and you are her hero. Then she tells them you are the bad guy, they are the hero. And so you don't talk or associate with them. They don't associate or talk to you. Meanwhile, the more lies she tells, the more she distances herself in an attempt not to get caught lying. Jamie is one of those predators, but her son is worth the shit she put me through. I'm of the belief now that Natalie is a predator after messaging back and forth with her ex for 2 hours last night. That was Tim Beeson that I was messaging with for 2.5 hours or for 2 hours that night. Hayden was in love with Jamie, and she played about 6 of us at once. But I am not like other dudes. I broke the cycle because Hayden was a good man. He was done with her after the conversation we had and got a girlfriend and even married her. Not Jamie. He married the girlfriend that he ended up with. I hope Natalie's ex finds a decent woman because a predatory woman cares only for herself. And to her, a man is a tool to be used until broken or lost. To, let me see, to predatory women, the ultimate goal is to see good men suffer. What Natalie told me about her ex, she told him about me. I never raped her, never gave her drugs, and never molested her when she was a kid. He said he never raped her, never molested her, and didn't even do heroin. I'm a good man. If he is a good man as well, it's fucking stupid for him to threaten me or assault me. Two decent men battling over a twisted woman who doesn't care about either of them is fucking dumb. Unfortunately, I still have that nightmare. And as much as I want to see the best in people, there is a 0% chance of my panic attack ever ending because I'm suffering and predatory women eat that shit up like it's fucking candy. Now, did Natalie ever say those things about me? Did she ever say that I raped her or molested her? No, she didn't. She also didn't say that I gave her drugs. Not so far as I know, anyway. But that's the shit that Tim Beeson is throwing at me. Natalie, she had panic attacks and she knew that I had panic attacks. But for her, when she had a panic attack, she had people to go to that listened. When I had a panic attack, the people that I went to were too busy telling me how to think and how to feel. The way that she painted out Tim Beeson, stealing her dog and holding her down and screaming in her face, the fact that she had to leave the state to get away from him and her dad and her Uncle Troy. Her dad and her Uncle Troy both couldn't keep their hands to herself or to themselves. See, by March, I'd already dealt with a few assaults. I'd already dealt with a few threats. I'd already dealt with a lot of shit. Um, and then here's Tim Beeson being a jackhole. Mm. Here's one. Between December 29th and February 9th, the police not only didn't see themselves as doing wrong, they actually thought they were heroes punishing a killer. I was assaulted at 3 different hospitals before they caught Joseph Lopez. One, I was assaulted by Boulder PD. That was at the Boulder Municipal Hospital, I think. Um, Second, I was forcibly injected with 3 different mind-altering chemicals, including ketamine, Haldol, and Ativan in the Boulder County Hospital. That was the Longmont Hospital. Or no, the Larimer or Lafayette Hospital is in Boulder County. Let's see. Second, I was forcibly injected with 3 mind-altering chemicals, including ketamine, Haldol, and Ativan in a Boulder County hospital. Then was transferred to a different county. The reason I typed it Boulder County Hospital is because I couldn't remember if it was Louisville or Lafayette. Let's see. Then was transferred to a different county, so I couldn't make a police report against Boulder Police and Sheriff's Departments because both of them took part in the assaults. Waylon Lolatai assaulting me at the Boulder Hospital, it didn't end there. It continued all the way through until I was released. Let me see. I was still assumed guilty by the police and public, except the ones in Adams County. And I was wrong about that, by the way. This is August 9th of 2018. This is right before I literally had to break the law, light a fire in order to get somebody to do something. Let me see. I was still assumed guilty by the police and public, except the ones in Adams County. At Clearview, I was again forced to take injections and charged with assault. These people were all involved in covering for the Boulder PD. Michael Beard of Haxton, Colorado was also involved. It was his harassment of Candace after Cara Mia had pictures of her son sent with a noose drawn around his neck with racial slurs, and I had a bad morning scare from Natalie's stepmother when Officer Beard refused to do anything about the fact that she could have been being harmed at that very moment. He instead came back the next day to harass Candace twice. Let me see. To harass Candace twice, and her landlord threatened to kick Candace and her two daughters out in the cold. I was stuck again with no cash and no transportation, with Natalie's voice in a backpack and degenerative disc disease. It was something that keeps recurring. Everything since has been the law covering its own assets by refusing to look at what I have in the backpack. Someone please kill me, it's too much. When I went to see Natalie to end all the crazy, as she put it, I took that backpack with evidence. It was a computer, a telephone, and some receipts for the buses. Or bus tickets, sorry. But I'm going to hold this up here for you so you can read it. Now, mind you, at this point, I don't think I knew Waylon Lolatai's name yet. I think I found out his name. Well, I know where I found out his name. It was from Rights, or not Boulder Rights Watch, Colorado Donkey Watch. And turns out that Cara Mia, aka Cara Rogers, was playing head games. Her and Kara Johnson Miles, and actually Kara Johnson Miles and Cara Rogers might actually be the same people. And I'm sure most of y'all know how that works. There's so many of these, so many. Let's see. Let's find another saved file. Let's see. Officer Britt Louise Hops. There's Martindale's. By the way, I went and talked to Rick Martindale today. Oh, what's this? All right, this is me attempting to get a hold of Jill Gookin. She's my public pretender in Larimer County. Hello, my name is Sean Schwartz. I'm trying to get a hold of Jill Gookin. Yes, ma'am. However, I would like not to be. I need all of the information from all of my court dates sent to me to my email address as quickly as possible. Yes, ma'am. I am pretty tired.
Oh, Jacqueline, I'm trying to get a hold of Jill. She's on the other line. Can I take a message?
Jacqueline,
yes, ma'am.
Jill.
I need everything from all of my court dates, including the judges' names, the public defenders' names, and the dates those courts sent to me, starting when I was charged. And I need those as quickly as possible. Do you have an email? I do, and she has that email. I'm pausing this for a moment. This right here is about the assault in Clearview. I was the one who was assaulted. I was the one who was drugged for trying to get a police officer there. They drugged me while I was calm. By their own paperwork and their own admission, I was calm. And by the officer's own admission, they made no attempt to get a report from me. Fuck the police. Let's continue with Jill Guckin, who did not do her job. Same as Pamela Carty. Can you give it to me just in case? I can. It's doggedroman@gmail.com. D as in dog.
All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom while you listen to this.
EDROMAN. Email you said? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I can set you up on our online system that has all your documents and stuff on it, and then you can have access to all that stuff that way. Is there a good number I can have her call you back at if there's any questions? Yes, ma'am. However, the online thing that I have doesn't have all of that information. It has about 90% of the information omitted. I need the information from the actual court dates because of the wrongdoing of the courts and also the wrongdoing of the public defender's office. That information. Well, first of all, the times and dates of my court, and second of all, the judges involved and the public defenders involved, and well, that's just the start. I also need the reading of the minutes from those court dates, including the ones that happened prior to Jill becoming my attorney. Okay, and what is a good phone number for her to reach you back at? Well, that's the end of that one. The big thing is that I need that information. Yes, ma'am. The big thing is that I need that information as quickly as possible. I've been attempting to get it for over a year, and Jill has not called me back. She has made no attempt to call me back. She has made zero attempt to send me that information. It has literally been over a year, and she has not done anything. So everything we have should be on that online system. I'm showing that your last court hearing you did not come to, and they issued a warrant. Ma'am, I had a warrant issued because I was illegally prevented from going to court, and then I was locked up because of that, and then I was assaulted and hazed and harassed in the jail because of it, and Jill would not answer her phone. I was forced to flee the state of Colorado for my own safety because Jill did not do her job, same as the public defender's office. That's why I need this information. About that, I was not the attorney on the case, so I'm not going to argue with you. So I will give her the message, and she can give you a call back. All right, thank you. Bye. Yep, Jill Guckin. She was informed by me that I was illegally prevented from going to court. She didn't give a shit. She refused to do her job. That's the thing about kangaroo courts. You get people like Jill Guckin, who's not going to do her job. People like Pamela Carty, who is not going to do her job. Even in the case of Clearview, where there is a lot of documentation of the wrongdoing of this place.
Oh yeah.
Yet they played victim.
Now they're closed because
They shouldn't have forced drugs into a man who was calm. They should have not illegally prevented a man from making a police report or from speaking with the police. These people are sick.
Yeah, they killed a
Now,
man doing
prior
that shit.
to this, my public pretenders in this case, where I was assaulted by Clearview staff, what happened? Well, first I got Zoe Tanner, who would not do her fucking job, refused to collect evidence, just like Pamela Cardi did, continued to not show up to our appointments, just like Pamela Cardi did, same thing that Jill Gookin did. And there's also the attorney that I had in the Boulder case. Now I will find her name. It's Amanda something or other, I believe.
Amanda
And she
Balehead.
refused to do her job.
She's now a
Refused to
judge in
requisition
Adams County.
evidence. Claimed that there were no body cameras. Now her story and the story from the Boulder Police Department are conflicting. Either she's lying or they are lying. And in either case, somebody deserves prison for this. Now, first, in this case of Clearview, I had Zoe Tanner, and then there was a woman by the last name of Cotton who pretended like she was going to be my lawyer, but she couldn't do anything because she wasn't my lawyer. And then after her, it was her supervisor. And this woman's name was Catherine Hay.
And I have
or
her card.
Catherine Hayes. Now, my public pretenders repeatedly did not show up to our meetings, to our court dates, and so on. Repeatedly. Dragging it on and on and on and on. Destroying my life and eating up every penny that I had. You goddamn right I'm going to speak out. All right, this is me attempting to get a hold of Jill Gookin. She's my public pretender in Larimer County. Hello, my name is Sean Schwartz. I'm trying to get a hold of Jill Gookin. Yes, ma'am. However, I would.
That one was started all over, wasn't it? All right, here's one that's 8 minutes and 24 seconds long. Now, nearly all of these people who did me wrong, they used other situations that they weren't there for, didn't get to see. They literally weren't there for the situation. They weren't even a part of the situation. And since they didn't have anything of their own to throw at me as an excuse for the fucked up shit they did, they used rumors from my predators as excuses for the fucked up shit they did. Ooh, it's nasty, ain't it?
Twice I pressed 0.
Yeah, it was this computer in Virginia. This one doesn't have video recording ability. This is actually recorded
Sorry,
from
folks, I had
by
to pause for a second.
holding my phone,
Staying with
recording
you
it,
for lunch real quick.
posting it to
Press
my
play.
file thingy, and then deleting it from my phone so that I could tape another one.
Hello, my name is Sean Schwartz. I had 7 different public pretenders while I was there. I have requested my court paperwork repeatedly since leaving the Arapahoe County Jail. Your public defenders did not do their job, outright refused to do their job, and lied to me repeatedly in order to try to get me to sign paperwork to absolve them of their wrongdoing. Now, I'm getting to the point where being able to take them to court is rapidly approaching the deadlines for, time up.
Okay, so which attorney were you here?
I had 7 different ones, and the main one that I was supposed to have was Pamela Carty.
Okay, I should put you to the supervisor. You can speak with them.
All right, well, the supervisor is one of the people that I need to make a report on, so that would be fine. I suppose.
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to pause it here for a second. Her supervisor, the one that she's patching me through to, has not returned my calls. He has not done his job, and he was one of the people who was bullying me with Pamela Carty into signing paperwork. There's also a female who is one of her supervisors who did the same thing. I don't know all of their names. In order to make a report about them, I have to know their names. They also require the dates. Now, the paperwork that I have from the Arapahoe County Jail that I wrote, they're all, they don't go to the police department. They stay inside of the jail, and the officers that I spoke to about it, they told me that they're not going to investigate anything that I write down because they believe they're officers. Meanwhile, the tapes from those officers in that jail show that not only were they making fun of me and laughing at me, but they put me on suicide watch in order to prevent me from speaking out against them. These officers are crooked. Pamela Carty was made aware of this. Pamela Carty was also made aware of the other court dates that I had, that her job is to let them know that I was incarcerated and therefore could not show up to court. And because I could not show up to court because I was incarcerated, I was legally not responsible for not showing up to those court dates. Legally, they could not charge me with failure to appear. However, they did charge me with failure to appear because Pamela Carty did not do her job. At no point in time did Pamela Carty even attempt to do her job. Instead, she lied to me outright, spoke over me, and refused to requisition evidence. This woman is a crook. She is a felon. She feloniously refused to do her job. Let's press play. So did her supervisor.
After the tone, please record your message. When finished, you may hang up to deliver the message or press 7 for more options.
Hello, Steve. This is Sean Schwartz. I am pissed off. It's been over a year that I've been attempting to get you guys to send me the records of all of my court dates, the public pretenders who were at those court dates, and the reading of the minutes from all of those court dates. Over a year, sir. And, well, at this point, you guys are not borderline gross negligence, but you are outright refusing to do your jobs. That information cannot be kept from me. It needs to be sent to my email address immediately. That includes every public defender that I had to deal with while I was there, yourself included. When and where, what times, what days, and the names of the people involved. I cannot make a police report without the names and dates, and you cannot legally withhold those from me. I require you to send those to me immediately. Having to ask for those for over a year is unacceptable. You get off your ass and do your goddamn job. You have my email address. You get on that shit right fucking now. I am tired of asking nicely, you piece of shit. Have a nice fucking day.
And I hung up on him. Got tired of asking.
Y'all don't like how I spoke to that asshat? I don't give two shits. Why? Because they didn't do their fucking job.
And now people are
Matter
dead.
of fact, they helped out the prosecution by not only not doing their jobs, but by lying to me. The public pretender's office in Arapahoe County, Colorado, is full of felons. Every public pretender that I had committed felonies. Every single one. The biggest
Not
one
supposed to lie to your clients.
was Pamela Carty and her two supervisors. You want me to talk nicely to these people? I have. I'm done.
All right. Let's see.
Just a couple of seconds because I don't know where it exactly stopped. And we'll press play. That's the thing, is that those officers had something different to say than what that woman had to say. Now, if Amanda Balehash lied to me, then she doesn't deserve to be a judge. If those officers are the ones who lied, then they don't deserve to be officers. At the same time, I was not represented. At no point in time was I represented. At no point in time was my safety ever considered. If her job is to get a case dropped, well, then we got a major issue because that case needed to be followed through with so that I could show evidence of what those police officers did. Their wrongdoing, as well as Amanda Balehash's wrongdoing in repeatedly not showing up, repeatedly having me go to see investigators who did not show up. You're damn right.
That's
You're
expensive.
damn right. All right. Now we'll get to the fun stuff. North Glen. We'll see what this says over here. This is one of the links. Adams County Sheriff. Your voice matters. Is that right, North Glen? My voice should matter, but does it really? This is Amanda Balehash right here. Amanda Balehash. She is now a judge. What is my major issue with this? Well, the fact that she lied. Now, if she didn't lie, then the officers lied. In either case, I was lied to. And this is not acceptable. Look at that shit-eating grin. Damn, that's nasty. Now, Judge Amanda Balehash, let's see what it has to say about here. Bail cut for ex-CU football player in rape case, the Denver Post. Sipili's public defender, Amanda Balehash, argued that he wasn't a flight risk. Boulder County Judge David Archuleta agreed to the bond. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Here's the thing about Amanda Balehash. She told me that the charges were dropped because those officers did wrong. That was Amanda Balehash's words. Now, the police, when I called them, they did not look at any of the evidence because they didn't give me a way to send them that evidence. They outright refused. Now, the name of that officer is on here somewhere, and I'm sure that I'll find it and be able to post it up for you shortly. Or not shortly, there's a lot to go through. But the fact is, she was in contact with the officers in Natalie's case concerning my computer. She was in contact with them concerning several other issues that she needs to speak out about. She also had conflicting stories with what the Boulder police had to say. So it's time to hash out who's telling the truth. Did Amanda Balehash lie, or did those officers lie? Who are those officers in specific? Well, to start off with, we'll start off with just the ones that Amanda Balehash got to deal with. Officer Waylon Lolatai, Officer Herr, Officer Ryan of Broomfield Police Department, and Officer Vanderleest of Boulder Police Department. Now, Amanda Balehash said the charges were dropped because the public prosecutor, or the prosecutor, took a look at that tape and said that's fucked up. That was a messed up thing for them to do to me. So why did it take them 3 months to do something about it? And why were charges never brought against those officers? Now, if the officers were telling the truth, and what they said about the case was that the charges were dropped because of Officer Vanderleest. Now, Officer Vanderleest, according to the investigator at their internal affairs, claimed that the charges were dropped because Officer Vanderleest had a change of heart. Well, I wasn't accused of assaulting.
All right, so the internal affairs investigator guy that I spoke with was also involved in covering up the murder of my friend Danny behind the Boulder pedestrian shop. I say murder because, well, actually, it was negligent manslaughter. The Boulder police knew that Danny was back there hours before I found him dead. Tony DeStassi, the manager at the time, was going to give him mouth to mouth. He'd been dead for hours. You can't bring him back from that. I knew it, and I stopped Tony. I've seen dead people before. I'd seen a lot of dead people before this. When I realized that Danny was dead, I had only seen his ear. His head was facing away from me. I just saw his ear, and I knew he was dead. And I went in and I got Tony.
Officer Vanderleest, and she was involved in the cover-up. So was Amanda Balehash. The point is, the charges were dropped to prevent me from being able to show that in court. To prevent me from being able to show the evidence that Amanda Balehash refused to look at, just like every other public pretender that I had. This woman is a goddamn judge for shit's fucking sake. Look at her. Big old shit-eating grin. She doesn't give a fuck. Homeless people are not human beings to this woman. God bless America, right? No, fuck you. We'll rewind this a couple of seconds because I don't know where it exactly stopped.
I got sick of people's shit. Let's see, here's this one.
All right, this is Susan Glenn. She stabbed a man named Robert Mick to death in Chapel, Nebraska. Susie was my next door neighbor at low income. She was about the only person who would talk to me in Chapel, Nebraska in that area.
Low income here is pretty
Why is
scary.
that? Well, she was an alcoholic and she just needed a friend. But she stabbed a man to death. And that was just last year. She stabbed him just a few days after the 1-year anniversary of Natalie Bollinger's death. This is Chapel, Nebraska, folks, where people are alcoholics for the most part. And alcoholics do things like stab people to death, beat their children, rape their children. Chapel, Nebraska's got more sexual predators in it per capita than probably anywhere else I've ever lived. Chapel, Nebraska is nasty. What are they known for? Well, largest American flag ever on Chapel, Nebraska, on the side of the grain bin, in the heartland. Lovely. Makes it a great place, doesn't it? Because it's got an American flag. It must be a wonderful place. It must be great, according to Donald Trump, right? Negative. From an attic in Chapel, Nebraska, Ku Klux Klan robes, bits of Nebraska history, and a mystery. Boom! What do you think? This right here is Joel J. This is one of the public pretenders, or actually he's the county prosecutor now. This man right here is a crook in his own right. He's also a father and a husband. So he must be the good guy, right? Because he has children? No, we already know better than that. Now, this guy right here is a crook. Let's continue. All right, this is about a woman named Jeannie Gatlin. When I was staying at Sally Treon's, that's the place where I was telling you that Sally's daughter was dragged through the house by her leg and kicked in the face. Yeah, this Jeannie Gatlin lady. Let's see if I can scroll this to where her face is. Right here. This woman was also staying there. She was pregnant. Her son died a year to the day after Natalie was shot in the head. This is one of the people who was staying there, one of the screamers. She's also a methamphetamines addict. While I was staying at Sally Treon's, there were a lot of screamers. A lot of screamers.
Everybody there screamed.
There were also meth heads in and out pretty much the whole time I was there. See, that's a major issue. This is one of the places that I was sent to because, well, none of my friends had enough money to take me in, or they had to be afraid of public opinion and retaliation. This woman here, her son died a year to the day after Natalie. These people watched a show about carnival clowns killing people literally the entire time I was there. The TV sometimes went off at night, but if it wasn't off, it was on that one fucking show about killing. This is on Officer Waylon Lolatai. He is the officer who assaulted me on January 6th after over a week of attempting to get the police to do their jobs. After over a week of being sent from one place to another, just trying to find a place with internet where I could sit down, get the information that the Adams County detectives had asked for. And yeah, this officer is a crook. His pattern of violence. Here's another one. Clearview Behavioral Health. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. These things will go on forever.
Yeah.
This is where I was sent.
17 of the places that I have stayed since Natalie was killed have been on the news. Yeah, I told you.
for trying to turn in officers. It got to the point where I literally attempted suicide. This place is gross. They're getting shut down because they killed a man doing the exact things that I told you they were doing, and you wanted to pretend like I was lying. Now, let's continue. Boulder officers charged in manslaughter and death of man being transported to detox. These officers not only killed this man, they were making fun of him while they did it. They were harassing him, picking on him, and bullying him. The same things that I told you these officers do. Why is it that this right here is up, but the ones that they do to homeless people aren't? Well, that's because we have news stations, like this one back here. Tony Kovaleski. This man doesn't give a fuck if you're homeless. If you live in a house, it's fine. If you live in a house, it's illegal for these officers to do these things. But if you are homeless, it's not. This is just one tiny portion of the bullshit that I have had to go through over the slander by Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie Boa prior to Natalie's death. I am sick and tired of being assaulted and treated like I am a Ted Bollinger. Ted Bollinger is a rapist. Tim Beeson is a rapist. Matter of fact, we'll go over here to my Facebook. I'm going to pause this for a... Now, I've been on a Facebook ban for a while. Let's see what this one says. You know why kids bully? Because adults bully. But no one wants to have that conversation. That's very true, Patricia.
Patricia Yeager.
Now, let's see. It says recent. How many are recent? This one right here. He got hacked again. Let's see. Let's go to Nicholas Drake. This guy kept on calling me and calling me and calling me. These people all wanted to know what happened. Well, then we got some stuff here for, this is them trying to, this is because Alicia Bollinger disappeared and I was trying to help find her. So therefore I must be some sort of super psycho serial killer, right? Fucking idiots.